I've mentioned before how white liberals also are racist and how the racists are also in the Democratic Party. Of course, not all, but enough. Okay, just like not all men, but enough. As I mentioned before, David Duke came out of the Democratic Party in the South, right? Well, the Democratic Party, whose main base is currently black women, black people, and marginalized communities, don't bode well for people like David Duke. So he swapped over to the Republican Party. David Duke actually worked with Carto and went from the Democratic Party to the Populist Party to the Republican Party because he was trying to help establish the third party with Carto at one point. Didn't work for him, so he moved on to the next thing and became a Republican. After Carto's death, or no, I'm sorry, Carto was just ousted because eventually all of his lawsuits caught up to him. But after Carto was basically ousted in the main stage, David Duke started trying to infiltrate the Democratic Party again because he knew that there was an untapped demographic in white liberals for racism. So Duke fled the country for a bit to avoid, some stuff, came back, did his time, and when he was released a year later after doing his time, he picked up where he left off. At the Unity Conference, his charisma and gift for public oratory set him apart from other speakers. He cast adherence to white nationalist cause as the most selfless devotion to humanity, and he captured the gut anxieties of average racists like no other person of his generation. And when Duke introduced 57-year-old Sam Dixon, the acerbic attorney from Atlanta, it became obvious that both men felt they were preparing for the next generation. Dixon revised the white nationalist movement's underlying assumption of our race needs a homeland where we can be by ourselves. He said, unpopulated by Muslims, Jews, those he called Negroes, and other unspecified people of color. Liberals, specifically white liberals, stood in the way now. Then Dixon changed course and began listing reasons for hope in the future. One was the September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks. And that is when we get the slew of anti-immigration. That part of race, that's how they brought the white liberals into the white nationalist movement, by tapping into the fears brought on by 9/11. So when I say that racism and white supremacy is everywhere on both sides, the Democrats and the Republicans, that is what I'm talking about. They deliberately are infiltrating these pockets of disgruntled white people to push a narrative so that they can keep power.